Welcome back to another episode of Rich Minds, Rich Lives podcast. I'm your host, Alease Michelle Jones, and today I will be diving into the topic that many of you have asked me during my career as a coach, and that is how to transition from full-time job to a full-time coaching career. Now, I'm going to be real with you about today's topic. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you that, hey, it's super easy and anyone can do it. Y'all, it was not that easy. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the challenges that I faced when I made the move from full-time professor to full-time coach, working from home, doing it all myself. I'm going to give you the real talk. But before that, I just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button so that you never miss one of my episodes. And if you find this podcast helpful, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback and support mean the world to me. So here we go. We're going to jump right into today's topic, which is how to transition from your full-time job to a full-time coaching career. I'm going to be sharing the challenges. I'm going to be sharing the steps to help you get there. But the key thing is, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to be dropping a lot of nuggets that I think you might want to take notes. But if you are actively doing something, maybe exercising, walking, then just note this episode and come back to it. I'm going to let you know the challenges that I experienced first. I think if I get that out the way, then you can understand the steps that need to happen so that you can make this a smoother transition than it was for myself. Is that a deal? All right. Challenge number one was that I had financial uncertainties. Y'all know having a full-time job and getting that consistent check, you know, if you go in and put in the hours, if you show up, you're going to get a check every single week, every 2 weeks, every month, however you got paid. When you decide to become an entrepreneur, do this on your own, the certainty of a paycheck is not certain at all. I was really afraid of, was I going to have enough money to support the lifestyle that I had? And honestly, I wasn't about to give that up. I wasn't going to eat beanies and weenies, and I wasn't going to try to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. And I was not going to get my hair done because all of this look right here is part of my brand. So I had to keep that up. Let me be honest with you. When I did leave my full-time job, I was offered a severance package. Things were just happening at the school. Teachers were, going from full-time to part-time because we just didn't have enough classes. Now, I was the most senior faculty, and I probably would have been the last one to not have classes or get laid off. But your girl was ready to go. She was just tired. So with that said, I left with a severance. I also already had clients in place when I left. So what I'm saying is, if you fall into the challenge of not knowing if money was coming in, I would tell you to have some savings, have some money put to the side, because there might be times where a client just not paid. And I did have clients coming in. So I was doing both of this. I was working full time and I was also building my coaching business at the same time. Challenge number two was having a following, a client base, an email list, or leads. I needed to have a little bit of those already in my arsenal, in my tool case, before I decided to make the transition to full-time entrepreneur. What I mean by this is that you want people to already know who you are and what you're doing. Now, if you try to go and jump out cold turkey and no one knows what you're doing, who you are, then I would say that that's probably the biggest mistake that you can make. And you're going to really struggle if you try to move from a full-time job to a full-time entrepreneurship. I'm not saying you need to have 10,000 followers on your social media profile. I'm not saying that you need to have 1 million people in your email list. And I'm not saying that you need to have stacks and stacks and stacks of leads already set up. But you do need to have a cohort of people who already know who you are and what you're doing, so that when you do go out there, people can send you referrals. People already know what you're doing, so you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again. And you already have dipped your toe into the pool. So you know what the temperature is already. So establishing and having a following was a challenge for me. And so I stayed at work. I did not leave this full-time job until I had that all set up. And honestly, even though I left with a severance pay, I still came back and taught as an adjunct. So I still kept a part-time job as I was building this full-time entrepreneurship coaching practice as well. And that's where I spent most of my time, was building up my client base, my followers, my email list, and those type of things, so that I could always go back to them if I needed to make sales, to get clients, to sell packages, or people to show up for an event. I had those cohort of people who already know me, liked me, and trust me. Challenge number 3 was time management. And if you struggle with managing your time like I did at the beginning, then this is going to be a challenge for you, because when you're working from home, you're your own boss. You get to tell yourself when to wake up, when to show up, when to do this, when to post. You don't have someone who is holding you accountable. And when I first started, I had no one to hold me accountable. When I was teaching, I taught an 8 o'clock class, a 1 o'clock class, and I might taught an evening class. That was my form of accountability. And I had to prepare for those times in those classes during those days. When I left, I did not have that structure anymore. I had to create my own structure if I was going to manage my time, because if you don't manage your time will manage you. But those are the 3 challenges that I want you to have a handle on before you actually make that choice. The next things that I want to share with you is, what do you need to have in place when you decide to step out and become a full-time entrepreneur building your coaching practice? And the first thing is that you want to have a niche. Everybody is not going to be your cup of tea, and everybody is not going to want what you have to offer. So you have to be clear on who you want to talk to and what you want to talk to them about and help them with. Because if you try to be all over the place, and I'm going to tell you this because your girl was all over the place too. And mind you, I did this all over the place while I was still full time. You cannot step out and be a full-time entrepreneur building your coaching business if you are all over the place. You need to be clear on who you are talking to and what problems you are going to help them with. Step 2 is going to be building your credibility / your personal brand. Building your personal brand is super important. You want to control the narrative of what people are saying about you behind your back. You want to be seen as the person who knows what they know. And how do you do that? I strongly tell my people it's around content. Content is going to help you establish your credibility so people will start to know you, like you, and trust you. And when you have those 3 things working for you, people will buy from you. Now, if no one knows who you are and you are afraid or shy from showing up to social media, to networking events, you are not going to be able to make the transition to being a full-time entrepreneur building a coaching business. You're going to struggle because you're trying to hide behind something. You're trying to let your insecurities get in the way. You got to let go of those insecurities. I'm just being real with you. When you're building your credibility, content is key. And that can come in a form of blogging, writing articles. It could be doing videos. It could be podcasting, live streaming, short form videos. Content is the key. And this is also leeway into building your email list and building up your followers and getting, leads. All of this revolves around people knowing who you are, what you can do for them so that they can know you, like you, and trust you. Trust me on this. If you do nothing else out of any of these steps, before you leave your full-time job, before you tell them they can keep this job and walk out, you must build your brand. Let's go to step number 3. Step number 3 is going to be network strategically. And what I mean by this, networking is still important. Regardless if everyone is still online doing their conversations and networking online and inside of groups, face-to-face networking is still important. And before I made the transition, I did do a lot of networking events. I networked with other people who were doing what I wanted to do so that I can ask them the questions about the challenges. So I can set myself up for success before I made the decision to leave my full-time job. The best way to success is to watch other people who have done what you have done, or to look or read or pay attention to what other people have done. And so networking is going to help you do that as well. So don't leave that stuff out. Even for myself, who is an introvert, I know that networking is still important, both in person and online. Step number 4 is going to be to develop your transition plan. And I talked a little bit about this in the challenges that I had about my financial insecurity. Do you have some type of emergency fund to get you through the next 6 months? I was your girl who was not going to give up her lifestyle. That meant that I had to work a little harder. It is what it is. But I wasn't going to give up my lifestyle. So I had an emergency fund that I was given a servant's pay that helped me get through almost a year. And luckily, I didn't need to tap into it for the whole year, but it was great to have that cushion because then I wasn't worried about money. And you also want to have some type of clients or something coming in already. You're selling digital products. You already have clients that have hired. You have something that's already bringing you some type of money in. It doesn't have to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but it should be some type of small amount of income. Maybe it's that income is just paying for your cell phone, or maybe it's paying for an office space somewhere, but it should be some type of income that you're already generating that will help you know that you are capable of doing this. If you can bring in this small amount of money, then you can bring in more money and more money. It can double and triple and et cetera and et cetera. Okay. So you definitely want to have a transition plan. The last step is going to be step number 5, and this is to create a business and marketing strategy. I have an acronym that has helped me stay focused on building a business and marketing strategy that I share with my clients all the time. Now, it has changed, but it is still around the same concept, and I call it the 6 Ps. These are my 6 Ps that have helped me build my business and continue to market my business and stay focused on what I need. If you don't have a piece of paper or you need to pause this to come back, this will be the perfect time to pause this and go get some paper to write this down. So the first P is going to be plan. You want to plan out what you are going to do, what you're going to sell, who you're going to talk to, what platforms you're going to be on, etc. I like to call this the coaching business plan. And this is not going to be your 50-page, 60-page business plan that you would give to investors or a bank to get money. This is your plan just to keep you focused. It could be your vision plan of where you want your coaching business to go, but you need to have a plan. That's the first P. The second P is that you want to position yourself. Like I said in step number 2, you have to start building up your credibility in a personal brand. And this is the way it's positioned. How are you going to position yourself? Are you going to write blogs? Are you going to do videos? Are you going to do podcasting? You have to position yourself as the go-to person so that people will start to know you, like you, and trust you. Because if you have those 3 things, people will buy from you. The third P is going to be package. And this means package your offers. What are you going to offer people? Are you going to offer an online course? Are you going to do mini master classes? Are you going to do a membership program? Are you going to do small digital products to help people? What is it that you're going to package to sell to people? Now you want to decide that. I like to tell my client base that you should have a low dollar offer, a mid-tier offer, and a high-end offer, because everyone's going to come through your funnel at certain price points. And all of these 3 different tiers can be products, digital products, which I really strongly encourage people to do, is to start with digital products, because one-on-one coaching can be draining. And if you don't have digital products that can work for you and bring in passive income, you're going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. And you're going to be thinking about quitting every 3 months. Okay. So figure out what you're going to package. Package your offers in a low tier, mid tier, and high end. The 4th P is promote. You will not get sales if you do not tell people you have something to sell. You have to promote. You have to tell people to buy something, not in a sleazy way. You identify their problem and you provide them with the solution. And one of your products should be the solution. And this can be in a form of, you can show flyers, you can do a live showing people what it looks like to work with you. You can do posts, you can write blog posts, you can send emails. There are so many different ways that you can promote your offer without feeling like a sleaze bag doing it. But if you don't promote it, people will not know you have an offer, you will not make the sales, and you will not generate the income to eventually make the transition to full-time entrepreneur building their coaching business. The fifth P is getting paid. You need to have payment processing systems put up. That can be Stripe, that can be PayPal. There's so many other different payment processes out there, but you got to find a way to make sure you're getting paid, and you want to also separate that money. Now, I don't really talk about the structure of the business, like having a LLC and a business account, but I would tell you right now, treat your business as a business right now and have separate accounts. One is going to be personal account, another one's going to be a business account. And you can just open up two different checking accounts. So when you do start to bring in a whole lot more money, you know how to separate that already. And that when it comes to filing your taxes, all of that is separated, and your accountant is going to absolutely love you because you already separated those funds. But you definitely want to have some type of payment processing that makes it easy for people to give you money. And then the last P, the sixth P, is promise. Now, I know you're saying, Alease, what that have to do with all the rest of these P's? Well, I want you to promise yourself that you will continue to do this for 1 whole year. I said it, 1 whole year, 365 days. What happens when we start our business? We want things to pop off quickly. I'm trying to be real with you. It doesn't happen that quickly. You see these posts, 10K in 30 days. That could possibly happen, right, for them. But they're not telling you that they put the work in before. And they put the work in and probably have been doing it for years. I did not have a 5K day until 2 years into my business. It took some time. So I want you to yourself that you will continue to do this for 1 year. 1 year, you're going to plan, you're going to position, you're going to package, you're going to promote, you're going to make sure you are getting paid, and you're going to promise yourself that you're going to continue this for 1 year before you decide to throw in the towel or go on to something new. Promise yourself that. Those are the 6 P's. Now, I do want you to remember that transitioning to a full-time coaching career requires dedication. But with careful planning, strategic steps that I've shared with you, and a strong support system like you would get from me from the podcast, or following me on my social media platforms, or just joining the Coaching Business Simplified, you can make your dreams reality by actually making that transition from your full-time job to a full-time entrepreneur growing their coaching business. So guys, that's all for the day, guys. And I hope you found that this episode was insightful and helpful and very inspiring to you. I enjoy sharing my story with you. I enjoy sharing the challenges your girl had and the steps to help me build a successful coaching business that I've enjoyed for the past almost 5+ years. I enjoy providing this information to you. I enjoy helping you build your rich mind and live a rich life. You guys have an awesome and blessed day, and I will be talking to you later. Peace out.